Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface with another secrets video, and today it gets pretty darn trippy because I'm going to start here in the NAXXRAMAS raid instance in Dragonblight, but by the time I end the video, I'm actually going to be somewhere near Stratholme without even leaving this instance. True story. So how on earth do we get there? Well, you don't even have to go to any of the wings. Just go straight to the orb and set yourself here to Safarian's lair. From there, just follow exactly where I'm going now into the top right-hand corner. And you don't even have to start the fight. By all means, if you wish to, do so. But get yourself here so you can't move any further. And then take an elixir of wild growth. That way you're going to get much, much bigger in size. After you've done that, all you have to do is sit your ass on the floor and log out of the game. When you log back in, you'll be greeted by a view something similar to this. All you need to do now is just jump and push forward, and you will go over the top. Look at this. Suddenly, we start to see some different things. After that, just go down here to the ledge, and then what I would highly recommend is removing the elixir of wild growth and returning back to a normal size. Lots of invisible walls here. You don't want to make the next leap and hit one because you will plummet to your death. Okay, so with that done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leap off the edge here and then use a goblin glider. You can't do a video without using a goblin glider. I mean, come on, duh. But if I look back, you'll see this gaping hole where Safarian's lair was, and we've leapt out of. And if you just pan around, look, you see this cliff face has been completely cut off. So they've used assets from what zone? Dragonblight? Winter Spring? Not exactly sure, or it could just be snow. And then if you position a camera at a certain angle, suddenly you can see where Kel'Thuzad, his final layer is as well. So what I'm going to do is going to mount up now, and we're going to head over to this direction here, because that, believe it or not, is going to take us to the Eastern Plaguelands. And although Kel'Thuzad's layer's here, we can still run through it. You will find the camera will squish up against you, but if you just follow the direction that I'm going, you won't get pushed into it, and don't start jumping around just in case it does. But once out, turn around, and you get one of the greatest views that I think I've ever seen in a secrets video. Really cool, because you've got the two portals on either side, and then you can physically see Kel'Thuzad. So yeah, I like it a lot. So from there, to get forward, we have to do one of those things which is go slightly further back. So just follow the pathway up, but take a left here at the rocks, and then follow it around further to the left, as if we're going actually away from the destination. Now, I can't quite get up there, so what I'm going to do is going to take a right-hand pathway past that tree, run up to the top here, and then jump down onto this rock there. Okay, so that's where I was trying to get up to. From here, and you can see again, that's where we're going to, I'm going to start heading around the left-hand side so I don't fall down the cliff face. Nearly did, but managed to get some purchase with my horse, and then just ride over the top. From here, it's just pretty plain sailing, but and just before I get to the destination which I want to take you to, there's a couple of, things that we have to see beforehand. It won't be a secrets video if we don't have a little look around. Now, what I'm doing is I'm doing something quite specific in this video, and I'm leaving it up to people that want to explore to do more exploration of these type of snowy areas. But I will show off a couple of things for people that don't want to do anything whatsoever, like this. Look. If you just follow exactly where I'd gone, you suddenly come to this small hut. It is empty. Nobody's there. There's a scroll on the floor. There's a boar on the spit. So, spit roast. Ladies. Don't know where the dwarves gone, or whoever might inhabit that cabin's gone, but you can create your own little story. One thing that I do find about my secrets videos is it really does open up quite a world for RPers. I mean, if you do RP, and if you do want really cool locations to RP in, then these secrets videos tend to open up rather a lot of those. So again, before I go where I want to go, another little thing here. Look at this huge cliff face. And then what's down below. And what's really cool is there is actually a way to just ride straight down. And so when here, look at that, it goes all the way through to the end. So feel free to, again, have another little bit of an explore. And that's where the world ends. And you can also go in the opposite direction too. I have gone down both these avenues. There is a couple of things to look at if you want to really explore. So let's go back up and let's get to the crux of the video. Because the video is from NAXXRAMAS to the Eastern Plaguelands. It's a bit crazy. So if we continue to ride across this rather untextured mountainside area, when we get to this point here where we can start to see what's at the other side, look. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is Zolmashar in the Eastern Plaguelands area. And I'm going to use another Goblin glider, sponsored by, to just allow myself to float on gently into this area. You'll see the various scourge constructs and the corrupted fungal trees which seem to have been distorted into these rather horrific mushroom type objects that are spewing out even more gas and evil. So this is the old school Eastern Plaguelands. Remember, Eastern Plaguelands in the game at the moment is slightly on the mend. All the towers have been rebuilt. The land around the towers is starting to become, because the consecrated ground around it, I'd imagine, are starting to become green and lush again. And so it kind of gives me quite a lot of pleasure, because one of the other areas which was seriously changed was Light's Hope Chapel, because of the Argent Crusade setting it up as a base of operations. But here, no, it's just as dilapidated as it used to be. On the left-hand side, we have the flight path for the Horde. It's the Undercity banner there. And then on the right-hand side, that's where the Alliance would be. Right here where I am at the moment, there would be a forge and stuff. And all that stuff around the back, the graveyard, the tomb, which leads down, non-existent. And if we go inside, look at it, broken windows, boarded up windows, and where I'm stood at the moment, no trapdoor. Of course, if you've been keeping up with the Legion stuff, there was going to be a trapdoor there when Legion arrives, which will take you through to the Paladin Order Hall. So just backtracking a wee bit and having a quick look. I know it sounds a little bit odd, but it's great to see Light's Hope Chapel in such a state of disrepair. So, because this is a cut-off area, and this seriously looks like at least two cut-off areas which have been merged together, we can get another quick look at how the Eastern Plaguelands did appear before it started to get on the mend. There's the cliff face that we saw when I just left Safarian's lair. Just literally sliced off and put in there. This snowy area, whether it was removed from Winter Spring or wherever, was literally seems to be cut off and then plonked in a Eastern Plaguelands area, as opposed to vice versa, where you have a Winter Spring area with a bit of Eastern Plaguelands. No, this area itself is predominantly Eastern Plaguelands. And if you can see in the distance in the sky, I'm going to have a look again in a moment, just some more ruins there on the right hand side. I love to see ruined buildings. I don't know why. It's the sicko in me, I don't know. But if we could just see that in the distance, you'll just be able to, if you look further up, if I had angled the camera a little bit better, you can just see some ruinations of it. NAXXRAMAS is above the whole zone. NAXXRAMAS literally goes across the whole zone, and we're going to get a better look at that a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm making my way as we have another look at this rather weird snow area. Look, it's like crinkle cut scissors have just literally just cut through it and plonked a snow area in the middle of Eastern Plaguelands, which seem to have merged with it, and I don't know, it's quite an abomination. It's quite eerie and spooky, but cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to get to Stratholme, using my own geographical knowledge of the area, I'm going to see if we can get to some sort of semblance of order here as we come to this part. And just for people that do want to come here and explore, there are some other areas which you can get to, which with a little bit of jiggery pokery, jumping across mountains, using goblin gliders to get across to areas, but you can get to places like the Fungal Vale in and out of there. And for people that have seen Eastern Plagueland videos before, secret videos, Kelithian, which is the lodge, the Night Elf Lodge, which appears, or is it Blood Elf Lodge? It's an Elf Lodge, Blood Elf Lodge, I think, which, do beg your pardon, which appears at the top just before you would go through to the Ghostlands. That's not here. That's not here at all, because we have that snow area seems to have cut it off. And now we actually have physically found the road to Stratholme. So we've had the arch. These are the buildings which, of course, we had to get the grain from. If you've done the Culling of Stratholme Caverns of Time dungeon, they rebuilt all this, made it look rather special and rather nice. And we had to go and look for the diseased grain, or wherever it may be, that was turning people into the Scourge. And up above, the entranceway to NAXXRAMAS. You can see the kind of portal areas which you would go through, which break off into other zones. Look there, that's a great angle. A couple of the areas just jutting off from each other. So there's really, really cool aesthetics to see. And then down below, we have all the plague and the scourge and the constructions. There is such an eerie, bizarre feel to this. Such a sense of unease when you're in this area. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's really, really cool. And then over the drawbridge area anyway, the bridge that would take you through to Stratholme. So now, we've done videos, or I've done videos, where we've seen Stratholme, you know, how it shouldn't really be seen-ish. But this is something different. Because in all of them, you always had the Stratholme skyline. And the Stratholme skyline is literally just smoke. Smoke, 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 because Stratholme is burning. But not here. No, the skyline is completely different. The skyline is reflecting what's actually going on in the zone at the moment. So the smoke's gone, and we have this kind of clear sky area, which makes Stratholme itself appear like a different entity completely. It just looks like the embers of the fire are remaining. It looks like the fires are going out, and what we have left is, you know, just little bits of pockets of flame here and there in the buildings, but the vast majority of stuff has ended. I do love that feeling. And a lot of the time when you come to the Scarlet Crusade areas like this, they do tend to be blocked off, or you go through the initial door and suddenly it's a tunnel way and you can't progress any further forward. But in this case, you can, and you can get really deep into this Scarlet Crusade area. You could even go down there and explore that as an entity as well. That's complete, and even left and right. You think you can get all the way through to the end. Sadly, I think when we go into the next room, we're going to get blocked off. There's an invisible wall now, which prevents us from going forward. But we're so close to getting to the end. If I just position my camera again, wow, you can see some freaky stuff. It does get pretty unnerving. So, let's leave this Scarlet Crusade area, go back to one of the portcullises and take another direction in Stratholme. Now, if you've been following my videos for any length of time, you will probably understand by now that Stratholme is one of my favourite areas, if not my favourite area in the World of Warcraft, full stop. So it feels really weird and odd and strange and bizarre that when I do secrets videos or when I do stuff, so many times it seems to return back here to Stratholme. It's as if Stratholme is some sort of nexus point in the World of Warcraft. If to look at it from Doctor Who terminology, it's as if Stratholme is a fixed point in time that even the Doctor can't change, and things just stem off from Stratholme itself, because every time I seem to return to it, in one way or another, it's different. For example, the Stratholme in the game right now as a dungeon. You go in, it's destroyed, the sky's completely covered in smoke, unlike now, and we have an iteration of it. Not the original iteration of it, because things have changed, but an iteration of it where we're fighting against the Scourge, and we're fighting against what used to be the Scarlet Crusade. And then, of course, we have the Culling of Stratholme, which is Stratholme as it used to be, when the Scourge invasion had just begun, where the grain had been poisoned and people were turning into the zombies and stuff. But, of course, Stratholme was complete. It wasn't. It was this beautiful city. And then, of course, by the end of it, a lot of it was on fire. But it's this beautiful city. And then we had the Secret Zone video, where we were coming here to Stratholme, and it still had the same skyline. It still had the covered up skyline. But of course, we could go into areas like this that I'm going into right now. You can't access normally. You have to do a little bit of jiggery-pokery secretly. And then now, where the skyline's completely different and gives another unique feel and aesthetic to the Stratholme area. It's so bizarre. So many different ways that Stratholme seems to come into the world of Warcraft. Now, here is where you would go off to do the Secret Zone stuff, but because this is an instance and built differently, yeah, this is just kind of like, you can pop your head through, but be very careful about falling down into other areas. So, let's just return back to the start of Stratholme, because there's one other area that I'd like to take you before we end the video. So, heading to the right-hand side, I'm going to go back over the bridge. Again, no water, of course. There's no reason to put water into these areas when they're not even going to be seen. They might as well, you know, when they're cutting chunks of land out, that's fair enough. The stuff's already on there, but the things like water and movable objects, then they're stuff which get added later on. That's why you never see them in this. It's just as if they're taking a template and placing it. But I'm heading over to the right-hand side, past all of these Scourge construct areas. One, to get to this tower, to show you, of course, what the towers used to look like when they were destroyed. Now, of course, they're all freshly built, and they've got grass around them, and they look beautiful, and they're a little beacon of light in this rather hopeless area of Azeroth. But this is the main reason, and it's Teridale, because again, this is one of these areas which I'd love to know more about it. I'd love there to be some storyline about Teridale, and I'm talking about pre-Scourge invasion and stuff like that. So to see it in such a state of disrepair, it's kind of heartbreaking. But you do feel as if there's so much stuff which could be told to you. So much that is not being said that we could learn. Just little beautiful stories about people in the area, people existing, families and stuff like that. And then I'm just going to run up because the actual cave, because of course there was a cave which used to link you through to another part of the Eastern Plaguelands where you could meet up with Tyrion before he got his rise back to grace again. And he was just some random hobo that was wandering the lands making up, I imagine, for the Ashbringer and corrupted Ashbringer business. But there you go. You can just see the cave entrance. It's way, way, way over here. So there is so much cool stuff here. Going from NAXXRAMAS to the Eastern Plaguelands, all through the Stratholme instance, and there's plenty of other places here that you can go and explore should you wish to. But I really do hope that you enjoyed the vid, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye bye.